Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 4th. We're going to jump right in here, Sag, and we are going to take a look at what is going on for you at this time. It's funny that you have this exchange gifts card and you have this lion spirit, which says be generous of spirit. So clearly, coming from that place of giving would be a good idea for you. I'm not a big fan of giving, actually. Because I feel like spiritual people give too much, right? And so I would make sure, Two of Pentacles, I would make sure that you're giving in balance. Make sure you're not overextending yourself. Trust me, I'm all about helping people as much as I possibly can and, all that other stuff. But, there can, kind of come a point where you're giving too much and it becomes toxic. So, I would be careful of that, but I do feel like it would be a good time for you to, give in whatever way you possibly can. You have this exchange gifts card here. I feel like there's some happiness coming in for you. I don't like this Five of Cups here. Mostly you have the Five of Cups and Five of Pentacles showing up right next to each other. This can be like some sort of disappointment or like a disappointing energy. So I would say, again, if you're giving in any situation at all, make sure you're giving in balance. This could represent a disappointment where maybe you're giving too much in love and you're not getting enough back. But I think sometimes we have to be honest with ourselves and we have to look at relationships and say, maybe this person doesn't want to give as much as I give, right? And that people are allowed to do what they want. we can't control other people. So I always like to remind people that, sometimes in love, if we give too much, it's not the other person's fault that they don't give equally. If we're kind of giving too much because maybe we're giving too much, right? Maybe we are just being too much of a giver, and the other person just doesn't have that much to give. So I feel like we need to make sure we're doing things in balance. You have the the 10 of Cups, the Star, and the 5 of Cups here as well. I would say if you do experience a disappointment, though, 5 of Cups says turn around. There's 2 cups. Be grateful for what you do have. And then you'll see this bridge that leads to a castle. He's crying because he can't cross this river as well and get to that castle. But if he would just turn around, he would see a way to get to the castle. So I feel for a lot of you, kind of like being grateful for what you do have or what you are getting from a situation would be a good idea as well. I've heard a bajillion stories, even like Esther Hicks talks about this. There are plenty of success teachers over the years that have taught that just simply changing your perspective, hanged man right here, and looking at what you do have, it, can totally change your life. I think of Zig Ziglar always tells a story about, he's passed away now, but he always used to tell a story about some lady who hated her job and she was complaining and miserable and all this other stuff. And he told her to just start looking at the good things in the job and the things that she did like, no matter how small they were, totally changed her life. She started getting raises, promotions, all this other stuff just with a perspective change. Same thing in relationships as well. I think sometimes we get into a relationship and we're we start comparing the person we're with to other people when we should just be looking at them and saying, they do all these nice things for me. Maybe you're with a person who does a lot of good stuff for you. And just simply by changing your perspective, I feel like you're going to turn things around. 10 of Cups. So for those of you in a relationship, I feel like it would be a good time to be looking at reasons to be grateful for the relationship. Because again, it's trust me, you don't want to be single right now, Sagittarius. So for a lot of you, it's maybe the person isn't perfect, but maybe they really try, right? And maybe that's enough. So let's see what's going on here for you. I would make a wish as well with that Star card. With the 10 of Cups, you have the 9 of Wands here. 9 of Wands says don't give up. Again, for those of you that are in a positive relationship, I want to stress this. For those of you that are with a person who is positive, not abusive, right? I always get comments from the experts in the peanut gallery that are experts on narcissism and everything like that. And trust me, that word gets used way too much, by the way. But what I would say here is that if you're with a person who's positive, not abusive, then maybe you should try to get it to work, right? Because again, dating is a minefield. It is a battlefield right now. So I would, for some of you, this could be like a second chance in a relationship that you're in currently with the 9 of Wands. It kind of says don't give up. With the Star, you have the 9 of Cups. Make a wish, like I said, on the Star. I would definitely make a wish at this time. I feel like there could be wishes or wish fulfillment coming in for you. There is really a chance for you to turn a situation around here. 10 of Cups is fortune after difficulty, Sag. The hangman is like, again, gaining a new perspective, but it's like seeing a new way to do things. He is hanging upside down. He is seeing a different way of doing things. So for some of you, there's like an opportunity here for you to like really turn a situation around. Whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. With the Five of Cups, you have the World. The World can represent going through a birthing process. It's like she is kind of stuck in the squeeze. She's about to birth out into the world, but she's stuck in the squeeze. So she's like waiting to pop out the other side. And that's like what I feel like that's where you are in your life right now, it's like you're waiting for a change. You're waiting for something to happen. You have this focus card here. And I do feel like your focus is going to be very important at this time, clearly. It's like this whole reading to me is saying what you focus on is what you're going to get. So make sure you're focusing on the positive in love, in business, pretty much everything. And sorry, I'm choking. But that's what you will get with this energy. You have the Hangman, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles here. It's kind of funny because on this Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, the field back here is completely empty, and it kind of represents the fact that, number one, he needs to get to work, right? He's the only knight in the deck that represents no movement, but it also kind of represents the fact that, like, I feel like there's, like, so much more that you could get out of a situation. Like, if you could just be more positive about work, there could be, like, a lot of raises, a lot of promotions that come in for you. If you could just be more positive about your relationship, again, maybe there's, like, a lot more involved in the relationship, but it's, like, I feel like this is something that needs to be, like, peeled back. It's like there are layers here to a situation. So I do feel like just being positive, as ridiculous as it sounds, just by being positive and looking for the good things or the things that are going right in all areas of your life, that's like all you need to do. And again, I mean, this is free, it doesn't cost money. I always tell people, it's like I was stuck at 40,000 subs or something like that for like 2 years on this channel. I was not growing. People were outgrowing me and everything like that. Literally, the only thing I did is started focusing on what I do want, and I started focusing on all the positive. I stopped all the stinking thinking, right? I stopped all the thinking about all the negative stuff and all that other stuff. And I just focused on exactly what I wanted. That's all I did. And again, it's free. You can call it ridiculous. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But again, it worked for me. And again, it's free. So why not try it, is what I would say to you here. Same thing in relationships as well. I just started focusing on the positive things, even in challenging relationships. And like I said, call me crazy, but things have changed significantly in all my relationships. So, that's what I would do here. With this energy, even with the world, with all the craziness in the world. It's like I just started focusing on the good aspects of pretty much everything, and it's totally changed everything in my life. So that's why I always talk about it, but because I feel like it'll change your life too. And like I said, it's free. I like to stress that one. But Five of Pentacles literally says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. So I feel like you need to focus on the positive this week. That's really that's pretty much the only thing this reading is saying. Let's see. With the Hangman, you have the Sun, focusing on the positive, focusing on things that bring happiness and joy and reason to celebrate into your life. With the Knight of Pentacles, Empress, are you kidding me? This is a good reading. Sag, this is a really good reading. There's a lot of abundance here. I think there's a lot of reasons for you to be happy, and it's just going to increase your abundance when you do this. So I like to see that. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Wands here. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's like I always tell people, there's a lot of reasons to be miserable with the Ten of Wands. Like, there's a lot of burdens. There's a lot of things going on in the world. But we have to kind of go for just like the tiniest little thing that stands out to us with the Sun. The Sun could be a tiny little glimmer of hope. It could be you focusing on just like the smallest thing possible that makes you happy. But by doing that, you're going to be increasing your abundance significantly here with this energy. I do feel like there could be love coming in for you here, by the way, if you're not already in a relationship. And I feel like someone wants to pay attention to you here. Could be an Aquarius, could be any sign. This is a general reading. Aquarius definitely stands out to me. Could also be someone who has like Aquarius, in their chart somewhere. But I feel like someone finds you very attractive. Next, you have the Lion Spirit. It says, be generous of spirit. I definitely feel like it would be a good time for you to be generous at this time, for sure, especially if things aren't going your way. I've talked about this in the past as well. It's like, that's one thing I did. Like, years ago, I was, like, miserable. I've told this story a million times. I told it already once today to someone else, but it's like I was miserable. And, one of the things I did is I started giving just of myself, basically, helping other people and things like that. Like I said, we want to do this in balance. We don't want to be giving too much. I call it the cat lady syndrome. It's like, if you like, cat ladies aren't really helping cats, right? It's like there reaches a point where you cannot take care of all 6,000 cats that you own, right? And so then it becomes toxic, because if you know anything about cat ladies, some of their cats suffer, some of their cats die, they get sick, because you can't possibly take care of that many cats, right? So I'm not saying you're doing this with cats, but what I am saying is that we have to kind of like help within our boundaries with the Nine of Wands. There is only so much we can do, and we need to do as much as we can, but again, we need to stay healthy. We need to make sure that we're not causing more harm than good, and all that other stuff, right? So that's what I would say here. And, I always tell people, it's like, even if you're just helping one person, or if you're helping one situation, that's enough. Because it's like, once you create abundance in one area, it's like it creates more abundance, and then more and more and more. So we really only need to, we don't need to help as much as we think. And for whatever reason, that's being stressed here in your reading. Probably just so you don't get burnt out, right? With the Four of Wands, Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups here, definitely could be a love offer coming in for you. I feel like you're a little hesitant if there is love coming in. Could be an earth sign as well, by the way. I feel like you're a little hesitant. I feel like you're a little like questioning it, probably due to past disappointments with the Four of Cups. Two of Pentacles kind of says, if you can look at it as something that is fun, if you can just go and have fun and not put any pressure on the situation, you're probably going to have a lot of fun. You're probably going to really enjoy yourself, and maybe meet someone who's very, who's going to be very special to you. So if you're looking for love, that's what I would do there. Let's see here, Sag. Let me just see what's going on for you. With the Four Cups, you have the Moon card here, the Sun and the Moon. For some of you, this could represent like taking the good with the bad. This could represent also just the periods as well. It's like, the moon comes up, the moon goes down, the sun comes up. It's like, we constantly are going through these cycles where, the sun and moon cycles, where it's like maybe we are very clear at times with the sun, and then we enter into the moon period where we're not so clear about things. It's like part of life. I mean, part of life is discovery. We're here to discover and learn. So without the moon periods, we wouldn't discover and learn, because we would know all the answers, which just isn't possible. And that kind of defeats the purpose of life, right? It would actually make it extremely, extremely boring. I always tell people, it's like, if you've ever played video games, and if you've ever used like cheat codes in the video games, it's funny because I've known a lot of people who use cheat codes in video games, and you know what I've noticed about those people? They always get very bored of the video game, as they play it. Why? It's because they have all the answers. It's because they know everything that they need to know. There's nothing to learn, so it becomes very boring. And I get that for you here, where it's like, yeah, maybe you don't have all the answers, but your life is actually more exciting because of it. With the Two of Pentacles, Five of Wands, I do feel like you could be fearing conflict in relationships, but, Five of Wands is a card of needing to go on an adventure, and this could include dating to find love if you are looking for love. For those of you looking for work or career, again, I feel like you're noticing a lot of competition, but I wouldn't really worry about that. With the Two Cups, you have the Four of Swords, card of recovery. I do feel like some of you could be going through healing. Again, it seems to be one of those weeks. Mercury retrograde. I always tell people, during retrogrades, all these recovery cards and all this stuff comes up, because that's what we're supposed to do during a retrograde. But again, if you're in a positive relationship, like I was saying, this could also be you healing a relationship that you're in. It's like, maybe it's not as bad as you think, or maybe it's a lot better than anything else that exists out there. It might not be perfect, but there are things that you can work on to make it better. And so the Four of Swords is kind of like about doing that work. For those of you looking for work, by the way, I would try to stand out. You're like the second or third sign as well. The sun and the star is fame and fortune, but it doesn't necessarily. I think I said this to you like last week as well. You had the sun and the star, I'm pretty sure, in your reading last week. Or was that in your fourth quarter reading? I don't remember. It might have been your October reading as well. I can't remember which one it was, but it doesn't matter. Fame and fortune. And it's even if you're not becoming famous, it could be really good for standing out or getting attention in work or business. And by getting attention with the sun and the star, you can make more money. You can get a raise or a promotion at work with that energy. So I would try to stand out as much as possible. We're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards. We're doing 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need to think of your questions. If you don't have questions, that's fine too. I'm just going to put them all together at the end. For question number 1, I would say yes. I feel like there is new love coming in for you, by the way. If you're looking for love, I feel like there is a new person coming in for you. My only problem is that Knight of Pentacles. I'm not a big fan of the Knight of Pentacles in love, because it's like it could be someone who's attracted to you, but they could be standoffish. They could be not making moves, things like that. So definitely something to think about. Page of Cups kind of tells me that this person could be a good person, but it's like there needs to be more movement. For question number 2, damn. Yes, the Sun. Again, are you kidding me? So yes. And for question number 3, I would say yes. Queen of Cups. Putting this all together, I feel like you need to nurture what makes you happy. I think that's like the most important thing that you could be doing this week. And you're like the second sign, I think it was Leo, that also had this, where the sun is like your happiness, is things that bring joy into your life. And that's what I would be focusing on if I were you. Pretty simple reading. So thank you for being here, Sag. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.